Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to another episode of our 鬼谷八荒 Let's Play. Now, I'm glad everyone enjoyed the first one as we'll continue our story here. So we left things off in a town. This is the first town, Xingdazhen, or the first arrival town, the beginner town. There's not a lot of features in this town, but we're supposed to go to the wine house, or this is just think of this as a bar. Go to the bar to get some news. So let's go there. And we have a couple choices here in the bar, which is called 酒馆. You can drink alcohol, 喝酒, 打听消息, or ask for the news or try to find some rumors. Or you can pay for a round, invite everyone to take a shot. And the barkeeper is asking you what you want to drink today. We're here to get some news, so let's 打听消息. So there's a bunch of things we can ask. The first one says, how do we break through to the next tier of our cultivation, which is called 筑基境? We'll talk about these tiers of cultivation very soon. We're not going to ask about that because I kind of know how to do it already. The second one is, where is Tianyuanshan, or the mountain that we're supposed to look for in the middle of the go board? So this is why we're here in the first place. And the last one is, how do we make more spirit stones, which is the currency in the game? Now let's first ask about this. So we ask, 天元山在何处? Where is it? And then the barkeeper goes, 天元山, let me think. It's a place of legend. I actually don't know where this mountain is. Sorry. But if you do want to go to this place, you must at least leave our current place. Well, that makes sense. But the problem is, our current location is surrounded by tall mountains. If you don't have a flying mount, you cannot leave this place. So there seems to be no land route out of our current location. And we ask, aside from having a flying mount, are there any other ways? And we respond with, if you go towards the northeast, towards Taihang Mountain or Wangwu Mountain, you can bypass this mountain range basically through these two mountains. But it has been 10 years and no one has been able to climb over these two mountains because there is some sort of large spiritual trap placed on it. So it's cursed basically. And this is the story reference from Shanhai Jing, or the Book of Mountains and Seas, where it names these two mountains. Now, these two mountains are not fictional. Taihangshan is actually super famous, and if you need a reference for where it is in Three Kingdoms, it's where Taiyuan is surrounded by. So when you think of Zhang Yan and the Black Mountain Bandits, there's a huge mountain range that comes down from the north, almost in the middle of the map, and that mountain range is called Taihangshan. So that's where relatively this is. This is the southern and western portion of the Ji province and the eastern portion of the Bin province. And this part of the story in the Book of Mountain and Sea refers to Yugong Yushan, but Yugong Yushan is actually not from the book itself. We'll probably run into it. That's going to be our first tutorial mission. So we'll talk more about it when we have more reference here. Just know that there's these two mountains. The two mountains were named in the Book of Mountain and Seas, and they're not fictional. You actually have these mountains. So even though it's a mythology book, a lot of the geography is based on real geography of ancient China. And the problem we have now is that no one can get out of this mountain. And if we don't have a flying mount, we can't leave this beginner area, because there's some curse on these mountains. But he heard that there is a village nearby, and there is a villager there who plans on moving the mountains. So this is the story of Yugong Yishan. Yugong is the name of a really old gentleman, I think 80s or 90s, and he had a plan where his family, the village their family lives in, resides in a very similar situation that we are in right now, where they are trapped by these two giant mountains, Taihang and Wangwu. So they can't really reach the outside world, so they can't trade. It's a very, poor life in their village. So he wants to improve the lifestyle for his future, kids and their kids and so forth. So he came up with this plan that he is going to shovel the mountain piece by piece until he moves the mountains. Now, this is obviously an insane type of idea as he summons his family and shares this idea with his family, and some of them doubts him, and he makes a statement that, yes, I'm old and it seems foolish, and just by using my own strength to shovel the mountain is going to take forever, but even after I die, I have kids, I have sons, and they will continue my work, and even if they die, they have sons and they will continue their work until one day we move the mountains. And this statement was heard by a local mountain deity, so like a semi-god who guards the mountains. And the god gets scared, so he reports back to, I forgot which one, but I'm thinking it's like a higher deity. I can't recall which one, so I'm not even going to guess. And the higher deity hears the story and gets touched by the determination shown by this older gentleman called Yu. And Yu, as a character, means foolish, but it doesn't really mean that they're trying to describe him as a foolish old man, but it's just saying that his name symbolizes this, because this is an allegory. So this is a made-up story by a man named Liezi, who was this Taoist philosopher from the Spring-Autumn period. He basically wrote this story to symbolize that, people living 3,000 years ago from where we are now had very limited tools to deal with, the nature, mountains in this case, and that with determination and effort, you can overcome certain difficulties. That was the whole point of this allegory story, and it got passed on. This is a very well-known story. I think most kids in China would learn this story in school or hear from their parents, and it's a familiar story for most people. But the resolution for this mythical story, at least in Liezi's version, is that the higher deity, after hearing and becoming touched, sent 2 titans to move the mountain away from the village, opening a path for their family. So that's the resolution there. Here, the developers are changing it up a little bit. We're going to see that there's going to be a similar deity in the mountain, but they have cursed the mountain to prevent people from leaving for other reasons. As in there are stronger, creatures beyond the mountains, and he's actually putting the mountains there to protect the villagers inside. But we're going to experience that right now. So we found out there's this village. We're not going to talk about these 2. Basically, these are tutorials, right? If you need help, it's like a codex in the game where you can go ask for help from the bar. We're also not going to be drinking because we're not exactly rich. So let's pop out of here. The other things we can do here is go to the market. We can buy stuff here. So buy, sell. What's on sale is there is a health we gotta have a name for these. Basically, these are all danyao, right? They're little spheres, extracts used for different things. For game purposes, we're just gonna call them pots, even though they're not pots. So this is a health pot. This is a mana pot, and this one's special. 聚气, so 聚气 means to gather qi, or qi, energy. The idea of qi, we talked about it a little bit before, but how did qi become associated with Taoism is because even though people way back, didn't have the science to understand flow of air, right? Because qi is really the flow of air, but they recognized that a living human breathe, right? And the dead human no longer breathe. So the flow of air seems to be an important, judgment determining whether a human's alive or not. So that's where the concept of qi and the flowing of energy and flowing of air through a human came about in what I would call Taoist philosophy. I think modern day we tend to associate Taoism with religion, but I would say during this period it's more of a philosophy than anything else. During the early stages of Spring Autumn, there were many schools of philosophy, and Taoism was just one of them. Confucianism, Taoism, legalism, all those ideas came about during this period. And Taoism covers many elements of how to even govern a nation by using their relativity ideas of good and evil and so forth. But part of their big draw towards leaders is that the promise of how to achieve everlasting life. And for this one here, 聚气, 聚 means to gather, right? To gather your qi. And the purpose of this elixir here, or this concentrate here, is that you take this when you have reached a bottleneck phase of your cultivation. So it costs 300. We're not going to buy this right now. We have 1,000. We'll come back and buy it when we need it. What we need to do is take a look at our cultivation. So 逆天改命 means to go against our fates, basically, because cultivation is against nature, right? You are supposed to live and die, but you cultivate to extend your life, to try to ascend, to become a deity. And this is the steps. So there are a bunch of steps to achieving deified form, which is this 登仙境. 境 just means a tier, and 登仙 means to ascend, to become a god. And we're right now in the very bottom here. We'll cover each one as we progress there. Currently in early access, I don't even think some of the higher ones are unlocked yet. I think we can get to Yuanying. I'm not sure if that's the peak right now. They keep updating, so I don't know. But the process for each tier is very similar, actually. You have this beginner phase, middle phase, and late phase within each tier. And then at certain points, from the beginner stage to the middle phase to the end phase, you have what's called a bottleneck. So basically, either you have learned as much as you can, you have gathered as much chi as you can, and you don't know what to do with it. You reach a bottleneck that you need some sort of supplement or some sort of external push to help you go through. And then once you reach the final phase of the late phase, you're ready to ascend to the next tier. And the next tier for us is 筑基剑. So right now we're in what's called 筑基境. Right now we're called 练气境. 练 means to practice. 气, we already talked about, is the qi. So right now we're just learning how to harness qi, how to gather it. And then the next phase, 筑基, means to build a foundation. And then so forth. We'll talk about it when we get there, but that's our goal right now. Right now we have 0 points. We need to harness qi to reach this bottleneck. And once we reach the bottleneck, we gotta take one of the medicine that we saw in the store to go into the middle tier. So 初期 is the beginner form, and then we'll be in 中期, we'll be here for a long time. This is the total amount of experience needed from all 3, and then we'll reach a second bottleneck, and then we'll have to take another supplement or some material that's required to reach the late stage. And then once we max that out, we can ascend. Now ascending, there's 3 different forms of ascending. There is the human form, the earth form, and the heaven form, each requiring different amount of resources. Ideally, because I tend to play quite min-maxy, I'm probably going to go for the one that requires the most resource. Now this determines how much you want to grind. For some players who the requirement of playing the next difficulty tier is just to reach the foundation stage, you might just take the easiest path, get to the next stage, and so forth, but your stats will actually be so much worse. So since we're playing this just to play out the whole experience, I'm going to try to go for the higher tier one. And this is your chi inside your body. Now it's usually gathered up around your core. It's called a place called dantian. It's the idea of acupuncture is also related to this, where the energy flows at certain points in your body. You might hear it phrased as like pressure points, and there's basically different points in your body, and dantian is a point, I think, underneath your belly button. It's like, consider your core, and it's where you gather up all your energy, and you're supposed to train yourself to absorb the flow of energy from the outside, gather it up in the core, and then learn how to have it flow to the top of your head and then flow back down. It's this kind of a circulation idea, but it's hard to describe all this stuff with mix of medicine, mythology, Taoism, and so forth, but we'll try our best. And they have a poem here. It's not a very well written poem, but we'll just try to translate it. 浑元 means kind of chaos, and then to gather the qi, to form it in our dantian, and then we want to build a foundation that can help us break our fate, and to release, to know how to hui fang. So this is kind of like using your qi, but to release it, as in showing strength. It doesn't make you like a real hero or like a real man. To know how to restrain it and to use it and make you, successfully navigate the mortal world Yeah, that's the best I got there. But right now we're basically in the early stage. We have no points whatsoever, and we need to find these locations on the map, the big world map, where you have a overflow of energy where we can gather it, and then we can sit there, meditate, gather it up, and gain the points. And since we're in the tutorial, it will show us. And then the other interesting thing we need to do here, well, there is still the inn. The inn is there to recover health, recover energy, and action points. It will cost us 50 spirit stones and 5 days of game time to rest up. Aside from all that, we have this. The list of NPCs who are currently in this town. Now this will update every month. The entire game state and the world map will refresh at the end of every month. It will be an end turn. Each turn will take a month, and then everything will refresh. But right now, we don't spend too much time on this because we want to get on with the tutorial missions. All the NPC here has the word mo on their top right because they're all strangers to us. Once we get to know them, this will change. Maybe they'll become friends, maybe they become rivals, maybe they become lovers, or family, or teacher. Could be anything. But maybe this is a place where you look for a lovely lady to have a dual meditation session with. She actually turns out to be quite good here. Okay, so what you see is like their name and what type they are. They're human, female, their charisma. She is outstanding. She currently has no sect or guild. I've been using guild, but I think the game's translation is going to end up being sect. It's probably better to just have a consistent one. Let's just call it a sect. Tend to be a mix of religious ideas and martial art movies, because a lot of the sects are based on certain religion. Like you have a Shaolin sect, which is basically Buddhism, and then Taoism is often seen as religion, but I like to see it more as a philosophy of sorts. But regardless, let's just find a consistent term for the different guilds or sects that we're going to join. We're going to use sect here. She's currently just learning by herself. You can see the tier she's in. She's in the middle tier, 中期, 练气. So she's in the bottom tier like us, but she's just in the middle here. You can see their renown. 默默无闻 means they're not well known. The exact point is 177. Personalities and their beginner traits. So for her, she actually has 天三才. So we have 地三才. We have the 3 elements that's associated with earth. That is water, wood, and earth or ground. And then she has the 3 heaven one. So she has wind, lightning, and fire. And that makes a good match. 天地之和 is a common term in Chinese, which means the union of the heaven and the earth. She's also good at making those extract, those elixirs. She is a 炼丹狂魔. A little bit of dark side on that one, 50 points, but she gets 25 extra points into her skill of crafting those elixirs. So she's quite talented as a, alchemy. And she likes to travel the world. This gives her 100 points of renown and 150 points of charisma, which makes her, pretty girl. And you can see all her stats. You can see her skills. Seems to be a lot of lightning skills. Maybe because her attribute for lightning is quite high. Yeah, 38. And you can see any item she has. Oh, this is a sign. Okay, so this is a 钟, right? 镇魂钟. So this is a gong, basically, used for timekeeping almost. It's a musical instrument, 钟. It's basically brass gongs. This one's made out of stone from 洛水, which is the river next to Luoyang, actually. And the reason why I think this is a sign is because remember our character. Our character's hobbies, the third one is 钟. So we like to have this. This will increase our mood by a lot. And then the item that she has happens to be a 钟 that increases mood by 80 points. Doesn't mean we'll date her, but if we do want to get to know her, we would start with a chat. It will cost us 5 action points. And once we're no longer a stranger, we can ask to become oath thorns. I don't know why we would do that. We can get married with her, have a teacher-student relationship with her, basically become her student or ask her to become our student. We can ask for items. We can gift her items, which is a great way to increase our relationship with any NPC character. We can ask them for a mock battle. Each will cost a different amount of action points. Once you run out of action points, you have to go to the inn and rest up. 双休. So this is the, you know, the draw of us being a lover boy or 情种, is that we might want to maintain multiple relationships, not towards marriage. You know, 双休, it takes 10 days. It's dual meditation. So basically, you're practicing cultivation with a female partner. And this goes in line with the Taoist belief of yin yang, right? The symbol of not only good and evil, but also male and female, so that like if you have both practicing together for 10 days, you will have a better effect in your meditation. And yeah, we might have multiple female partners of training partners. Yeah, let's just say that. What you do in 10 days is up to your imagination. But the result of 10 days is you'll get more points. And then you can also chat with her about cultivation, which will also gain points. Cost 5 days time. Of course, if we look at a random male NPC, a lot of those choices are not available. You can't have a dual meditation with a male, and you can still chat with him about it. But he is not very strong. Like everyone's going to be a little bit different. You can also check their relationship, who they see as a rival, who they see as a friend, and so forth. So you can spend a lot of time just playing around with the relationship structure of the game. And I actually took a look at some of these ladies beforehand. Yes, only the ladies. It seems like we have a group of friends in here. Not her. Maybe it's her. I think it's her. Yes. So she's friends with the girl we saw earlier. And Cui Gang's also here. He's right here. So these three are buddies, and they're all visiting the town together. And he doesn't see anyone as a rival, but she sees him as a rival. So maybe she's tracking him, but he doesn't care about her. But regardless, none of these people are very powerful. They're all in the beginner stage, and we don't really have to invest too much time with them. So we're just going to be off. We're going to be going to that village. That's kind of our goal. So let's get out of town. And we want to go towards Taihang Mountain. Just as the barkeeper says, it's to our northeast. Yucun, so the village of Yu, where Yu Gong will live. Can call it the foolish village, maybe. Oh, right, because both squares are actually the town. We gotta get out of town. And then there will be NPCs here, which you can go and check, but we're not going to go and check. As you can see, as we move, the days are going by. Oh, so there's something we can fight here. I actually want to... Okay, so it's easy difficulty. Just look at the bar if you're confused. This is still bamboo creatures. Supposedly no strong monsters. Probably still going to be like a semi-boss at the end. We haven't fought any real bosses, and this is probability of the drops. It could be any of these basically, and by color scheme I'm guessing these will be the better ones. Anyways, let's go fight. Now I still want to... Oh dear. What was I gonna say before I start dodging things? I still want to learn more skills, right? Right now we just have a super basic one. And we just basically kite. I want to destroy more environment. Do I go pick those up? I guess so. Let me go pick up everything. And you can die now. Gonna be a second stage? Oh yeah, there's gonna be a second stage. With something stronger maybe? Oh, there's a spider thing. Can I break that? The tomb? Guess not. Pick up loot. Can't break this either. What about the pot? There we go. Oh, ow, ow. Ooh. Okay, we got ourselves a new boss. Wonder what his attack's like. The spider thing seems to suicide into you. Oh, he shoots bamboo spikes into the air, or rock spikes maybe, because he's not really a bamboo. He shoots fire. One of those legendary turtle monsters. He's not as aggressive as the last one we fought. There we go. That's it, right? Alright, and we got a bunch of items. We lost some stamina because we lost, I guess, 20% of our health, this would be. And we lost 1 point. Oh no, this is action point. We only lost 10% of our health and we lost 1 healthiness. Let me call this vitality or something. Basically, it's more of the campaign map's reflection. Alright, we made it. And this is Yu Gong, the old man I described about wanting to move the mountain. And he says, who's pranking us or who's tricking us? Now, how many times has it been? A villager. Again? Like, don't be angry. If it doesn't work, then maybe let's quit. This is not something normal people can do anyways. You already tried very hard. So I guess we're talking about moving the mountain here. No way. As long as I still draw breath, I won't give up on it. Perhaps there's really a mountain god who's looking at us, and moving it will actually anger it. What mountain god? It's probably just a monster. If there's really a mountain god, why would they use 2 mountains here to trap the village like so? It can restore, rocks and plants that you have moved and make them reborn. Probably this is something only a god can do. But we have been working so hard every day, everyone, to achieve what we have achieved so far. If we just give up on it now, I can't let it go, basically. And then 智所. So 智所, 智 is opposite of 愚. 愚 is foolish. 智 is smart. 所 is also a word for old man. So this is like a wise man. It's like, stop making a mess. This mountain is not something a normal person can move. Even with the whole strength of the village, in our living years, so basically for the rest of our lives, we cannot move the mountain away. And then we have the famous line, even if I die, my son will continue my will, and their sons will continue their will. There will be a day when we can move this mountain away. ... Ah, so he knows something. So he might be a monster transformed. He says, well, this is a side. If I tell them that I'm actually using them to protect them, would everyone believe me? So we can talk to both of them. Let's first talk to the guy who we came here to see. Like, how do we translate this? So technically we want to say like old man, but you want to say, this is a really polite way of saying it. So elder, maybe. He's like, oh, you're one of those cultivation guys. You came here to get out of the mountains? Yes. You have lived here for many years. Do you know a way to go out? Every few years, we're gonna get one person, a young man like you, who wants to go to the outside world. But it's not just you. We want to go to the outside world too. So I've been gathering up my family and parts of the villagers to move the stone, move the mountain, to open the path to the outside world. But recently, we discovered there is some sort of monster in the mountain who can move the plants and rocks, and they've been stalling us. But every time we move a part of the mountain, the next day, they would reappear. So he asked us, if I can help them get rid of this monster. Because if we can, then he can help us open the path to the outside world. And then you're thinking, someone who controls the mountain sounds like a mountain god. Now let's talk to him, who might be the mountain god transformed. Yes, are you a villager of this village? Yes. So I came here to find a way to get out. You said that someone's protecting you guys. What do you mean? So we heard the side. And he says, well, I don't know if it's human or not, but they've been stalling us moving the mountains, but has never hurt anyone from the village. Many years ago... Oh, so many years ago, you can use your own powers to leave, as in like you have the flying mounts. Of course, that also means that powerful people from the outside world can come in, and those of us in the village here are just regular people, not cultivation people. So if the powerful people can come in, we'll get picked on. And then, okay, and so basically saying that many years ago the mountain has some sort of passageway, but only for the powerful people. When they come in, they can pick on people. And then later on, there was this curse placed on, or the restriction. I'm going to call it a curse, 禁锢, placed on the mountain. So now no one can get out. And since not only can't we go out, but no one can come in. So our life has actually been, without want. It's been good. And no one can pick on us anymore. So I'm trying to find the place of the curse, basically. Or the god, or whatever creature has been moving it. And he's like, I don't know. So maybe he's not transformed. Maybe he just, noticed it and drew the connection between having this god and the curse and what good it brought to the village. All right. So now we're just going to head directly to the mountain to find out about this deity or monster ourselves. So let's exit town. Very close. And you have the mountain here. We got another fight here if we want. There's a cave here. There's two strangers here too. We'll take the fight. You can see there's two strangers here. He's in the late stages of our current tier. Both of them... Ooh, 寿星后代. So her age limit increased by 50 because her ancestors all lived a very long time. A descendant of the long living, I guess. She's married. Alright, bye. Alright, let's go in here. Same difficulty, should be fine. It's still bamboo forest, still going to be the very default enemies. Oh no. We got some new ones. They leap at you. That's not too hard. The suicide spider. Ooh, the snake that spits poison. Huang. They're dropping ginger roots. Mine to heal soon. Especially on the second stage part. Okay, let me go pick up all the loot, pop whatever didn't get popped, and let's continue. Ooh, I think I got a manual to learn a new skill, maybe. Yeah, before the big boss come out, let me break all the environmental ones. Ooh, what is this? Ice goddess? Oh my god. Ow, ow, and it freezes us in place. I'm gonna eat something. We do 6 per hit and then 12 on the crit. Got her. Yeah, we got a manual. 八卦图 just it's a 图册, so it's a album. It increases mood. I thought it was going to be a skill. Oh well, a lot of little trinkets. Our backpack might be getting full. Let me check. Yeah, our backpack's actually full. What should we do? Could go back. But I figured this would be a fight here too. I go back to town. We're almost at a month, so let's just do this quickly. Alright, Yugong Yishan, which is the name of the story and questline. Yugong moving the mountains. You enter the mountains to take a closer look, and you discover this mountain has a very strong curse or formation set on it. And the person who set this formation has a very good understanding of the formations. It's a very top tier formation. It's hard to break, and it uses the shape of these two mountains to kind of lock people in place within. So if the person who casted the spell doesn't want anyone to enter, even the strongest cultivation person cannot enter at all. But because you're already inside it, you can move within without having effect. So basically the boundaries is locked, but since we're already inside, we're fine, even though we're not very strong ourselves. So after searching for a while, you find the eye of the formation, and it was in this cave nearby. It's very well hidden, so the villagers haven't found it. So we can leave for now, or we can enter the cave. Of course, since we made it all the way here, we're going to enter the cave. As you approach the cave, you feel a danger that you have never felt before. So a shadow, a white shadow actually, leaps out from the cave to attack you, but you are prepared, so you dodge the hit. And then we take a look at the enemy. So she is a Wuluo. Wuluo is one of these legendary mythical creatures described in Shanhan Jing. It's a female-looking creature. I think it has like, I don't know the exact features of a Wuluo, but we're about to fight her, so we'll probably get an art representation of it, at least from the game, and we'll see what it looks like. We're fighting a boss. Wuluo Fuben. So Fuben is like quest lines or dungeons, and then let's go take a look. Kill all enemies. We can do that. Ooh. She has 500 health. Okay. Ooh. She attacks faster than us. I can't dodge some of the... Ooh. What is going on there? Doesn't grant me anything. Oh, she summons. Oh, that... Oh, she transformed too. No longer the nice lady. What is that? Okay, we dodged. Where are those gonna explode? Whoa, we gotta kill those little guys now. Alright, gonna heal. We gotta stay within certain range, or I can't even hit her. Okay, so the glowing stuff on the bottom are just terrain traps. She's beatable. I'm just worried I'm not gonna pick up loot because my backpack's already full. No, gotta kill those guys. Those guys hurt. Okay, each potion heals 75, so our health is fine right now, actually. Yo. Got her. Alright, you finally defeated the Wulo. Now it doesn't have any more power to maintain its monster form, so it has transformed back to the human form, and now looking at you with the ambivalent facade. So what do we do now? It's weak enough so that we can kill it, or we can ask it about how to leave. So we're gonna ask about how to leave the mountain, because that's the goal, and also doesn't seem like a bad person if the formations to keep outside powers from coming in. So we say, I don't want to hurt you. I came here only looking for a way out. Doesn't say anything back. You have the power to control all that's in this mountain, so you must have power to let me out of this formation. Still doesn't say anything back. As we're about to ask more, it turns and runs. Okay. But leaves a book. Hopefully our backpack can go through. Do we get it though? I don't know. Let me check. Okay, so we got the book. We're flipping through it. It describes the info about the village. And it says that if we want to solve the problem of the village, we must find the 100-year tree spirit and kill it and take its spirit stone. So basically there's going to be like a soul stone inside this 100-year tree demon, or spirit actually. And we have to find it. We have a location on it. What's the status of our bag? So we did pick it up. We can open the book. Oh, so it actually has a story. So it's her diary. Like, I underestimated the determination of the villagers, and they want to use manpower to, you know, open the path through the mountain. And then it talks about... Alright, so the reason why the formation is set is because the villagers live here without a care to the world, but they don't know the outside world, how cruel it can be with so many people competing to become, you know, cultivation, on their path to cultivation. And on their path, they would want resources to help them proceed, and that, you know, fight for the resource is very cruel. It's something that these villagers can't contend with. So she actually went through a huge expense to gather the material to form this formation on these two mountains, but currently she's missing the tree spirit and Van Gu Teng, so 10,000-year-old vine, and but the current structure is good enough to prevent people from leaving. But the center of the formation has no defense, but there's no other choice. Okay, so she's basically learned this, you know, purple chi energy formation. She's using it. She's waiting for someone. So basically she learned this formation from someone. Sounds like a lover, but that person will never return. So she's gonna guard the village for that person until you return. So it's a love story in there too. I'm glad we didn't kill her. Aside from this, we have this is a poison sac, bear fur, some sort of herb, tree bark, middle tier spirit stone. So these are like souls, let's call them soul stones, like medium tier soul stones. The broken blade from a bamboo monster. These are low tier soul stones. Another herb, ginger. 玄灵液. It's some sort of liquid. Seems to be water elemental liquid. 5 points of water elemental. Wait, so we can drink this to get 5 points of water elemental? Oh no, we can only throw it away. Maybe, oh, yao cai, so it's an ingredient. So basically we can use this to make something water elemental. More ingredients, herbs. Those 2 letters we got to join a sect. The diary, 是火. So it's feather from a mythical bird. It can increase mood by 80 if you're interested in it. So this is a xiao. Wait, how is this a xiao? So if people like Xiao, we gift this over, they will like it. For us, we can only increase our mood by 20 because we're not interested. So Xiao is an instrument. You play it kind of similar to a clarinet. Oh, there's a sexual innuendo too. So for like Xiao, it's usually like eggplant as an emoji. Let's just say that. Long Shou. This is a dragon head ornament. If we're interested in bronze gear, this is made of bronze. We get better mood. So basically, these are gifts, and we actually like albums. So 八卦图, we would actually like and get 80 points. But we basically have 3 gifts items, and we'll just proceed from here. So we're supposed to go chase down this tree spirit. We're about to hit the end of the month, 29 days. I could go back to the town first, 30 days. There we go. So we have reached the end of the month, and we are going to go to the next month. And you can see the whole world is going to be refreshed. The NPCs will all change locations. Different things will spawn on the map. And we get an autosave here. That's where the tree monster lives. I'm going to go back to town first just to see if anything has changed. So we have some new visitors, right? Yang Xiaoyu is new. She has Hawkeye as a trait. Yeah, nothing too crazy here. No friends. She's still around. Kind of want to talk to her actually. We have a Xiao, we can gift her one. Alright, let's spend 5 stamina. What should we talk about? Our point of view or just chat? Let's just chat. I don't think we have the same point of view, or we don't even have the same personality. She's actually evil, but she's very loyal to friends, and she likes, good reputation. She likes to maintain her own reputation. So her traits are great, but her inner, is leaning towards evil, probably due to this, because she got 50 points of Modal from being better at making the elixirs. She has a bunch of friends, a few enemies, no big deal. Let's just chat. 话不投机半句多. So if there's nothing interesting, like if the 2 people are not a good match, even half a sentence is too many. Yeah, that's the denial basically. But as you can see, we're no longer strangers to her. Right? The stranger symbol is gone. There's a flame here. I'm guessing this is a negative sign. But now we can do other things, like gift. So we have that Xiao, we can gift her, costs us 10 stamina, but we'll gift her this item right here. Alright, so we have this item times 1, gifted to you. Do you need it? She's thinking about it. Oh, she refused. Great. Our stamina's just tanking here. Well, I guess, dual meditation's out of the question here. Or is it? I mean, it can't be worse than it is right now. Another refusal isn't gonna hurt us. Nope, of course not. 你这个人渣败类，快给我滚! So it's like she's cussing us out, which makes sense. It's like, when a girl turns you down on the chat, but you still try to ask her out. Yeah, I think we deserve that one. Well, we'll keep her in mind, and we'll try to build up relationship another time. We got a new building in town, 狼牙阁. So this is where we can buy other manuals, I believe. Right, so this is very important for us. We can basically buy skills. These are divided by tiers. We can only see 2 tiers, and you can see what level you need to be to use this tier. Both are 练气境, so we can use both of these. Okay, so sword skills, water skill, fist skill, by the symbol. We can buy both of these because it depends on your renown. Right now, both require 0. This is an ultimate ability. Oh man, translating this will be extremely difficult. Whoever has to do this job, I feel so bad for them. Because like moves names, like they could like if you watch any martial art movie, like the name of those moves are just so hard to translate. But anyways, this is like a frost ability. I'm just gonna cover what it actually does. Cost 12 mana, 13-second cooldown, 560 range. You will fire a beam of ice and it will freeze enemies within 340 range, deal 250 of water elemental damage, cause them to freeze. If the freeze gets popped, they take 25 points of additional water damage. We can practice this skill. There's 2 different tiers of practicing this skill. So if we practice a little bit, then when we fight boss monsters, so 大妖兽 will be like the monster bosses. We haven't fought anyone so far. We'll get 2% extra damage. And if we practice skill even more, become 熟练, which is basically you master the skill, you can do 3% damage to other cultivation characters, so NPC characters, because you got to practice against them too. Requirement to learn, 10 points in water element talents. We have 42. We will buy it. Not that expensive. This is a fist move. So you can see that our fist talent's only at 19. It's a lot lower. We can still learn it. Cost 10, but we can only equip one, ultimate ability. So we're going to go with that. Oh, so this shoots out 3 beams at 680 range. So this will replace our current if we buy it. So this does 51 damage versus 26, has more range, and shoots 3 per shot. Cooldown's longer, it's 1 second cooldown, so the rate is going to be lower. But we can also practice this skill to get better at it for 2% damage. Now the other choice is a sword talent, which we can do as well. Seems to be a 360 attack, right? The symbol? Oh no, it's just a point and click. Range is a little bit longer, it's faster. Both are pretty good actually. This one's quick, 0.4 cooldown. Longer range, but this one's super long range. Just the cooldown's not great. Damage is also not great, 51 versus 83. I'm gonna buy both. No one says I can't buy both and learn both. And then we can pick afterward. Right, so that's like the process of you getting stronger. And we can go to our bag and we can learn it. So we're gonna find those books. They're here. Oh, they're also here on the front. Let's learn the ultimate move first. Right, so we get a little booklet here, and you can watch the move. So do we use it? Oh, that's a cooldown. Oh, so we use it by clicking. Okay, so let's click on something. We'll test it out when the cooldown comes back. Basically, you can know what to expect with it. So it seems to be just like a beam of ice. Oh, it can pierce and then shatter. DPS figures and like total damage. Okay, I'm gonna try again. How far? Okay, so it just explodes. It's not piercing. It goes to a certain distance, it can pierce, and then explodes on the spot. We gotta learn it. Costs another 50 to learn. 15 days? I mean, sure. Alright, so this is the learning process in the game. You get this body, you're meditating, and these orbs will come out. The blue orbs are intuition orbs. You want to left click those. And the red orbs are, how do you translate more? So the idea is like unclear thought. So basically distractions, let's call that, even though the term itself can mean demon. But here, when you're meditating, it's basically thoughts that could distract you. And we will want to right click those. And if we are accurate with ours, we have a better effect in terms of learning. Now we don't need to know this anymore. You can see the orbs, they will change color and they can just start clicking them. And you don't want them to get out of you know, the range and disappear. So we perfected that. So we learned it, but our mood dropped because we studied. We're gonna learn a bunch more. What day is it? Did we actually spend 15 days? We actually spent 15 days. Okay. I mean, it's worth it. Let's learn this. I think this is better. I think the sword one's gonna be better. We can test it out, actually. Yeah, this is like really fast. DPS is what? DPS is like 45-ish? What about the other move? Like DPS wise, it's just not close. But obviously you have more crowd clear, and I guess if you could hit all 3 warp on a close range enemy, the DPS would go to like 30, but I don't think it's better. I'm gonna learn this instead. Another 15 days gone. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh no! Oops. One small mistake. Mood dropped by 5. We still learned it. Okay, so now we have 2 new moves. We can we're already in March. We're already refreshed ones. Employee pick. No. It's here. Right. So now we can equip this instead of that move, and then in our... Wait, is this even our ultimate, or this is the right click one? This is the right click one. Oh, so this is not an ultimate move. This is just the one that costs mana. Okay, alright. So we are a little bit stronger before our big fight, and then the other purpose that we're here, so we have to jump over this month. Anyways, I can store stuff first. No one's gonna stop me. I don't need to carry this around. I can probably sell it, but it's fine. These I don't need on me as well. And I believe all these, like, you know, we can store all these. We don't need it until we need it, basically. I'm gonna keep the one that will increase my own mood the most on me. I think maybe we just need to store everything. We can control right click. Ah, okay. Yeah, this says control right click to speed things up. And indeed, that does speed things up. We're just gonna keep these 2 on ourselves. Our meds we are equipped on ourselves already. And with that, let's skip over the month. Because we can't do anything else. The map changes again. And before we move on, just want to make sure... Yeah, stamina doesn't come back unless action points unless you sleep in the inn. So we're still lost some stamina over there. We're gonna take care of this tree creature. The weather's not great. It's raining. Doesn't matter. You can see that there's one big boss monster here, and the drops are different, including this soul from the tree creature, which is what we came here for. I think maybe it's a guaranteed drop on this first fight, but in the future, we might have to grind for it. But time to put our new abilities to good use. Yeah, we're just gonna murder these guys now. Oh yeah. So 13-second cooldown on the secondary ability is actually quite long. I think that's everything. Now that's everything. Multiple stages this time. That's it. There's another stage before we gotta go up. Alright, so that's the map basically. I see. We're doing fine. Let's keep going. Oh, the suicidal spiders. Oh. We have two almost mangoose looking like creatures. Wasted that. Yeah, archers. Alright, it's the boss fight up ahead. Health, stamina, we're gonna wait for that cooldown. Let's go. And here is our tree spirit. Oh, we should have. Oh, we did. We did wait for that. Good. Where are these? We killed him already. No! Gather my loot. Gather my loot. Oh, we got the soul. Oh, so many drops. But this is what we came here for. And this is what we destroyed. And the experience. The usage of these. So we tiered up on both of these skills. This one, we mastered it. We got so much experience and we mastered it. This one's just the first stage. Not bad. Alright, now we're supposed to go back to Luo, give her what she needs, and maybe she will provide a path for us outside of this zone. So we're going to end our episode here, and we'll continue and finish up this quest and see the world outside our beginner zone here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. The map itself is huge. We are here, and this is the map. So there's a lot to explore. Once we reach certain higher stage and get a mount, moving around be quicker. You know, right now we're walking basically. Flying sword is a common theme in cultivation games and novels, and we'll eventually end up on one of those flying swords. So we'll come back next time and see you guys then. Bye!